What's going on, guys? My name is Ezel, and this is my wife.
Yes, sir.
And welcome back to the Ezels React. Now we've been missing for a minute.
Yes.
I know we've missing for a minute.
Been missing for a while.
You know, we had to reset and refocus, and we're back. We're back, and we've been trying to really figure out, what we're gonna react to. But we had to jump back on because you clicked on this video because you saw the title. Okay, let's just be honest. Derrick Jaxn,
yes,
big relationship YouTuber, has,
I guess, quote unquote relationship guru.
Yeah, you want to fill him in?
I kind of can. He's basically this big time relationship guru on YouTube who's been giving advice to women about what they should and shouldn't accept from a man, basically, and I guess trying to help them get a man or keep their relationship.
Right. What happened?
He cheated on his wife.
Right.
That's the gist of it. He cheated on his wife, and somehow it got out on social media. So, and I saw it trending yesterday, and then
yesterday?
Yeah, I saw it trending yesterday, and
I
was
knew
just
she knew more than I did. She was telling me about it.
See, I had heard about him, but I wasn't really into his stuff like that. Like, I watched a couple of videos one day, and I was like,
Yeah. But you know what, babe? I think we're rambling. I think they want to get into this video. So, let's check this out. Let's react to this. He uploaded this video. Did I cheat in my marriage? So let's check it out and see. Let's see what's going on here.
What's going on, guys? Derrick Jaxn here, and today I am joined by my lovely wife, Danae. And we just wanted to address a couple of things. You know, we understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jaxn was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch.
Why did he talk about himself in the third person like that just now?
Some people do that. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't find it weird. I don't know.
Serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out. Definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took, and definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had this conversation. I've already told her literally everything. I've given her basically a roll call list. If I've said hello to a woman in the last 12 years of me knowing her, she knows about it. But now that it's been made so public, it's important that I first off let you guys know I do not stand by those actions. I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. And then secondly, I know that I cannot build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things, and then in my real life live contrary to that for any amount of time or any length of time to any extent and think that I can't be held accountable. The same way that I preach, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jaxn's no exemption. He's not exempt from that. I'm also not a victim. Nobody made me do this. She didn't make me or push me to do it. The next person didn't make me. No friend influenced me. It don't matter how I was raised and what trauma, whatever. Look, I made decisions. I made a series of decisions that I got to account for. There's no excuse or justification. I've already made that bed and have had to lie in it. And now we're finally getting on to the other side personally in our own healing, in our own marital oneness. And now this is being made public to you guys. So we're bringing that forth to you guys to let you know where we're at with that. But did you want to say anything?
Yes. So
what did you think about what he just said so far?
He said a lot. I almost forgot we were reacting to this video, which is
you zoned out.
I did. I'm like over there, like
the camera's rolling.
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, I just watching this reminds me of So first off, infidelity in a marriage is devastating. It is devastating to both the victim and the person that actually committed adultery. I know this because I've seen it as a cameraman for a men's group where the
Men's retreat.
Men's retreat, right. I was hired to be a cameraman. I'm a filmmaker for people who don't know. And so I was actually hired out to go to a men's retreat, and I got to see firsthand these, 15 different men of various ages, all the way up into 60s, 70s. And for the most part, most of them had dealt with infidelity of their own doing. And they were just talking about personal stories. It was only in that group, so no names being called, but they definitely opened up my eyes to the other side of cheating and why men who think it's all macho and whatnot to have as many women as they can, or who just for whatever reason just cheat. There's consequences to it. People lost their marriage, of course. People lost children, relationships with their children, lost the respect of their children, which you could argue may hurt even worse than just losing the respect of their partner. And these men needed help. They were dealing with, it was like no coming back. And I was just like, wow. Like, if more men were able to see this firsthand, these men who you could argue with, some of them were top, six-figure earners, big, financially stable, very financially stable people, and had great careers, and this happens, and you just watch how it destroys their life, and it just puts a strain on the marriage. And yeah, so what he said, it reminds me of the day I was there and I was recording these things and I was seeing it firsthand. I was just like, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. I've always been a one-woman man in high school. I was a nerd, picked on. Women didn't even look my way really until after I got contacts and start wearing the glasses. But so I say that because on the inside I still feel like that nerd. On the outside it may be different. People have a different opinion, but to me I still feel like the nerd. So maybe I don't carry myself or behave in a way the typical. I don't even want to say the typical man, because there's a lot more black men like me out there. It's just, for whatever reason, for different reasons, they're not getting the women that they desire or whatever. That's a whole nother subject. I don't want to get deep off of that. But that's what he just wrote down reminds me of. So let's keep going. Oh, and just to let everybody know, me and my wife have been married for it's been 8 years.
8 years.
We've been together for 11 years though. So yeah.
Yes, 11 years this year.
11 years this year. Yeah. Almost this month, but yeah. All right, let's keep going.
I do want to just add that I agree with what he just said. There is no justification for bringing other women into our marriage on any level. And it was unacceptable, and it's not something that I tolerate or that we tolerate moving forward. And when I've been flooded again with messages and these things and about, I need to leave, or why haven't I left? And the answer is, when I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality, in how he carried himself, in how he presented himself, and conversations that we were able to have that we had never been able to have in just 12 years of knowing each other. And when we were able to have these dialogues, I said, okay, Lord, this is something that you've had your hand on. And this was with me being completely removed from his life. And him pursuing God, continuing to pursue God, and continuing to eliminate these things that led up to the catastrophe that you guys are seeing for the first time. So there's nothing out there right now that is information that I don't already know about or haven't known about. And so this is not something that is new. We have moved forward from it. We have gotten counsel for it and continue to do so. He is still continuing to pursue God and continuing to seek guidance and wise counsel from men of God. And that is what I needed for the continuation of me being present and in this marriage and to stand by his side. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand by his side, and I have no hesitation, I have no hurt, no shame about that. And it's only because of the grace of God and the mercy of God. And we have already turned a new chapter in this story. We are continuing to move forward, and we are just now sharing that with you all. And I forgave him, and most importantly, God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So absolutely, that's all I have.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what she just said?
First of all, when I saw the first half of the video, in my mind, I was like, she's silent. And her eyes, it was like I could see the hurt and pain behind.
I thought I could. I thought
like almost like she's putting up a facade. Like even though she's willingly speaking, it's almost like she's putting on a facade for the cameras.
Well,
like a brave front. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I'll talk about that later. I feel the same way. I feel like maybe there's a little bit of, you have to put on for the camera. I know I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. I know for, I guess men and women, but I would say more so women, especially on the subject matter of infidelity, it could have been 30 years ago. In the case of at the men's retreat, it could be 30 years ago, okay? And that woman will
She's
see
still
it
gonna remember
in her head like it just happened.
Yes.
Like it just happened. So even though she already knew this happened a while back, just the internet just got whiff of it, that hurt maybe that we both are picking up. It could be us reaching, but
no, I don't think it's reaching because
it could be her thinking about.
I don't think it's reaching because I've seen other women who have gone through the same thing and stayed with their men. Well, one particular other woman that I'm thinking of. And every time her man brings it up, like when trying to help other people, I low-key see the hurt in her face. Like, it's like no one else sees it, but it's like I feel like I see it. Like something about it, like the tinge of like just the way that she slightly reacts. Like she's trying to hold back. Yeah. But while she's keeping a smile on her face, and in my mind, I'm like, I can see that still bothers her, even though she moved on from it, and they moved on as a relationship, and they've gotten better. I just feel like, I don't know, like that's always going to be there, you know?
Yeah, it's something that people should talk more about, because I want to say this too, and then we're going to finish up this video, is that this is what real marriage looks like, guys. Like, our marriage has had some
ups and downs, but definitely not that.
No, it has nothing to do with infidelity. No. But we did have some trying times.
Yes.
And some of those trying times were on me. Okay? And some of those trying times also had to do something with her. But none of it, thank goodness, had to do with infidelity. Because that's something that both of us are very stern about. But that's because we both want the relationship to work. And I think Hollywood has done a lot to damage our reality perspective of what an actual marriage looks like.
Yes.
No one's perfect. No one's perfect. It's not, he better not do this or else I'm leaving. It's no, he's going to be dealing with something. He may have a gambling problem. He may have an addiction to something. He may You don't know what it's gonna be, and he may not cheat, do any of those things, but he may have health problems. Okay, then think about that. He may have health problems, and you may have to go to the doctor with him, and that's straining and stressing on you as a woman because you got to take care of the kids, take care of him. All these things can happen, and Hollywood never shows you that. But that's the reality. That's a real marriage. That's what happens. Somebody has to. When we get old, if somebody can't change their diapers, I gotta change it, or she gotta change my, like, that's a real marriage. It has nasty parts to it, and nobody wants to talk about it because Hollywood makes it look Photoshop perfect, and that is not real. This is real. Now, I personally, as a man, never agreed with the things that Derrick Jaxn, for the most part. There's only a few things he said I've heard. I really didn't watch him that much, but as a content creator, I have to show respect. Also, I just found out he's from Alabama. I'm from Alabama. So that's something I never knew. But this man is a grown man just like me. And, so there's certain aspect. And he's married. So I understand, because I've seen it, like I said, the men's group, that he's trying to correct things, and he's trying to save his marriage. Now, some people saying also he's trying to save his business. If he is trying to save his business, I mean, what else does the brother do? I mean, what is he supposed to do? If he lost his job, if he was working as a contractor doing something else, I mean, wouldn't he do the same thing, try to save his job? It just so happens this is YouTube, and this is how he makes his money. So I don't really fault him for that, if that is in fact what he's doing. But me personally, I would lean towards he's actually trying to make things right, because no man in his right mind would want to leave his kids to be raised by another man if they can help it. And that's something he thinks about, I'm sure, something he thought about. And hopefully, I wish them the best. I hope they get things back on track. Yeah, it's a lot. Marriage is. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's continue.
Oh, yeah, I was about to. I'm sorry. Let's go.
And I get it. Some of y'all, like, this may come as a huge shock, probably a huge disappointment. I let a lot of you down. If you've had a perspective shift on who Derrick is, hopefully it's away from anything remotely close to perfection. And it is simply that, I am a human. And that does not justify anything that I did. But I don't want anybody out there to be putting me on a pedestal. If you did, then I hate that you did that. Maybe I gave you cause for that, and I apologize if I did. For those who are saying, Derrick, I don't want to ever listen to you again, it's totally understandable. I appreciate you while I had your support and helping me get the message out about healing and healthy relationships to so many people who needed it, myself included. And for those who are going to continue to support, man, I appreciate you like never before, because I know it's not going to be easy going forward, at least for a little while so many things are still fresh and attached to my name. But for everybody out there, if you get nothing else from what I've ever said over the last 9 years or right here in this video, please get this. Nothing is right until it is right with God. Mm-hmm. Nothing works until it comes into alignment with biblical standard of how God told us to do things, especially when we're talking about a marital, spiritual covenant. Yes. You cannot do this by your own understanding, your own intelligence, your own willpower, your own values. You have to have the grace of God to break free from certain things, to stay away from certain things, to not operate from your lowest self, whatever it may be. And it's because it's really only by God's grace that we're even able to be here on this video, holding hands. Well, like a year ago, 7-8 months ago even, I couldn't see this happening. I thought it was over, and I already had begun establishing my relationship with God. But that's the fruit of bringing things in alignment with God. And the mess that's been made, the mess that's now being made public from last year and years past, that's a result of getting out of alignment with doing.
Oh, this was last year. Oh, let me finish the video. I didn't know this was last year. Oh, listen.
So that's where I stand. That's where we stand. And again, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize it was last year.
Okay. So, here's how I feel about the whole situation. First of all, when it comes to Derrick Jaxn, like I said in the beginning, I looked at his stuff, a couple of his videos, and I was kind of like, and that's because most of the time, whenever I see like someone who's talking about relationships online or who's a supposed guru,
right.
for some reason, it's always those types that have the most craziest story or the craziest stuff going on behind the scenes. Like they're giving the best or they're giving advice out, but then they have all of this other stuff going on behind the scenes that's totally opposite of their advice. So I noticed that sometimes tends to be the case. So whenever I come across channels like that or people like that, I try to just take what they say with a grain of salt or be like, I'm not sure, you know what I mean? With that being said, he developed a big following, right? Preaching a certain way, preaching a certain word, telling women certain things to avoid when coming across men. And he was doing the opposite of that in his real, public. In his life, hold on.
Okay.
To some degree. I mean, I'm not saying everything that he said he totally went against, but he cheated on his wife, and then I don't know the full story. I got some bits and pieces off of social media, of course, like everyone else.
Did he do it multiple times, or was it just this once last year?
Some sources were saying once, and then I saw another source that said more than once. So then I was just I'm not clear on that. Yeah, so at this point, I feel like he's doing damage control, like to keep his channel. Oh, goodness, guys, I kind of belched a little bit in that. Anyways, to keep his channel. Not saying that he's not truly sorry about what happened with his wife.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, he could be. But I feel like this is somewhat sort of damage control, and that's not to take away from everything that you said. I agree with everything that you said earlier. How marriage is, and there's good and then there's bad, and good, bad, ugly, all of that. Just all of that, everything that you said. You summed it up very well. But from what my perspective of this situation now is, I feel like since I'm seeing this video, and I guess there were a couple of other videos that came out, I was like, okay, this is damage control. You know what I mean? And then we're just now seeing the wife for the first time. Like, what is that about?
That surprised me.
I didn't even because did anyone even know he was married before this?
Married. Now, this is just me, like, on the internet. I see Derrick Jaxn. I see him in his car. I'm like, okay, this brother's putting out. I watched a couple of videos. I'm like, what? Okay, well, not for me. I keep it moving. I'm not really tripping. I don't care. But I never thought he was married. Like, the 10 videos I did see over the span of who knows how long, I never heard a mention of a wife. I never even thought to look for a ring. I don't even know if he has a ring on now. But when I'm you see my wife in my things now, right? And I think that's important. It was in part because of when I don't even want to say the word, but when the world had to slow down, I needed extra help, and so my wife came on. That was one reason, and the other reason is because I realized it was important for both women, black women and black men, to see a couple that is trying to do things the right way, and realizing that both sides need each other, right? One is not more important than the other. We both need each other, and so this whole idea of I'm not really a fan of the idea. I don't need you. You don't need me. That's just not what I believe, and I try to show that in our videos, and help encourage a new generation. So, any?
Well, I was gonna say how I felt like. Yeah. Gosh, it's like
I'm sorry.
I be wanting to say so much, and then you're somehow be saying some of the same things that I'm thinking, and I'm like,
I took the words out your mouth.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But what I was gonna say was, I feel like this is going to directly affect a lot of women that follow him because, and this is just me theorizing. This is just me thinking this is a possibility. But the women that follow him, you're gonna have it's gonna be like almost split two ways. Yeah. One group of people is gonna be like, you know what? Well, hold on. Listen, they're gonna be like, well, maybe, yeah, maybe his advice isn't bad. All people aren't perfect. There's gonna be that group, and then there's gonna be the other group who will be like, if he did it, you see, I told you. Every man is like that. Every man is like that girl. There's gonna be another group of people that will see it that way, like, oh, he's just another man that did exactly what we thought, or what we've always been told that men do. Yeah. Men are always going to do this. Yeah. So that's why you can't trust them. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel. That's what I feel is going to happen as a result.
And the thing is, the sad part is that is simply not true. I got great men in my family on both sides. And, not put anything out there. I know a few that I'm kind of like, I don't know. But then I know another side of my family, I'm like, nah. I couldn't even imagine it. I couldn't even imagine certain uncles doing certain things. It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. And so, unfortunately, I don't get to share my family information with the internet. Sorry, but if you know, you know. So, guys, this has been wow. This has been we went kind of long here. But
it's been interesting for me because I don't necessarily.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I don't necessarily like to talk about or review relationship type of stuff.
Yeah, and I understand why. It's because when you're on the outside looking in, you don't know. You don't know. If you're not married, if you've never been married, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like, and it's not what I don't like this, so I'm leaving you. It's not it. No. And you see that happen, but
you do.
That's not what it's about. That's not how it's supposed to work. We have our ups and we have our downs, but that's what the vows were there for, is for better or for worse. But that's a whole nother
we can
topic. We can talk
a
about
lot
that
about
and break that down on something else. But we're not gonna get into that. So guys, if you liked this video, make sure you give us a like, because we are putting out these videos, boom, 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 bow, daily. We're getting back on the grind. We appreciate the people that decide to stick with us. Like on our 1,000th subscriber video, we revealed some other projects that we have going on. Go back and watch that video if you're new to seeing us. Also, if you like the video that we put out, okay, we'll probably put out some more videos similar to this, but we're also trying to expand this, trying to find our niche of what we want to do. But consider subscribing. Because it's going to help us to figure out where we should go. Leave a comment also. Comment down below. What do you guys think about this? Are you guys rocking with Derrick? Do you guys forgive him? Do you guys think that that is damage control? Like, just what are your opinions on this? Okay, because we want to know. All right, and we will see you on the next video.